Good afternoon, America. Today is Wednesday, March the 11th, and it is 11:59. We're going to start off with a sound saying. It's coming from Psalms 91, verse 4, and it says, He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thy trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thy trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. The back is coming from John, chapter 6, verse 47. It says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me has everlasting life. Verily, verily, I say unto you that he that believeth in me has everlasting life. Okay? And we're going to put this away. We're going to take a walk with Christ today. And whenever we're taking a walk with Christ, we're walking side by side with him. Okay? It's like spending a day with the Lord. All right? And we're going to be in Luke chapter 7. This is a very long, colorful chapter. It has 50 verses. And we have a little bit of everything in this particular chapter. Most of it is uppercase lettering. Have a lot of green here for love. Have some black for sin, red for discipleship, blue for salvation, olive for commandment, gold for prophecy, and we do have a significant amount of pink for witnessing, orange for your faith, and we do have some silver for history. In this particular day with the Lord, Jesus heals a centurion servant who amazes him with his words. Jesus also raises a widow's dead son while they're in procession. He stops the procession and calls the young man to life. Jesus opposed John the Baptist's ministry, and that is his cousin, so he's asking the people, who did you come to see? Did you come to see someone dressed in glamorous wear? No. You came to see a true prophet. Okay, and then Jesus forgives a sinful woman. Now, everybody knows this sinful woman because when you think about the alabaster oil and ointment that he received, you know that this woman was a woman with not a very pretty history. However, regardless of what she is, she came and she did that which the others which were sitting around Christ failed to do. Okay? So she was the least among those sitting around the Lord that day, but she did the most for him. So we're going to read about her as well. So as normal, we will read from this book and then we will transfer to the international. And I normally keep this international to my right. Okay. There we go. Let's get started. We are only going to do the 25 verses today because it is a 50-verse chapter. Okay. Let's begin with some silver. Verse 1. Now when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum. All right, let's go here. The faith of the centurion. It says in the New International Version. We're just going to read the verse 1 because that was silver. It says, when Jesus had finished saying all this in the hearing of the people, he entered Capernaum. Okay, verse 2 to verse 10 is orange for your faith. And verse 9, a portion of verse 9 is uppercase lettering. Let's continue. Verse 2. And a certain centurion servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. So the centurion had a servant who was very dear unto him, and that particular servant was very ill. Okay, and he heard that the Lord was passing by. And a certain centurion servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. 3. And when he heard of Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. So he sent some fellows, they were Jews, to beg the Lord to come and heal his servant. 4. And when they came to Jesus, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy for whom he shall do this. 5. For he loved our nation, and he has built us a synagogue. So this was not a poor man indeed. He was a man of authority, and he had money, so he built them a synagogue. Okay. 6. Then Jesus went with them, and when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shalt enter unto my roof. So when the Lord was near to his home, now he's sending a few friends, and these are the words that he told his friends to say to the Lord. Then Jesus went with them, and when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter into my roof. 7. Wherefore neither though I myself worthy to come unto thee, but say in a word, and my servant will be healed. How powerful is that? He is saying to the Lord, just speak the word out of your mouth and my servant will be healed. That is strong faith in the man that he was talking to. He trusted God wholeheartedly, and he knew that all he had to do, he didn't need to show up. All he had to do was just say and speak the words. Okay? 7. Wherefore neither thou I myself worthy to come unto thee, but say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. 8. For I also am a man set under authority, having under me soldiers, and I say unto one, Go, and he goeth, and to another, Come, and he cometh, and to my servant, Do this, and he doeseth it. 9. Then Jesus heard these things. He marveled at him. That there were times when the Lord was here that he would marvel at the faith of the people he came across. And this particular gentleman was another one that marveled him. Another woman that marveled him was the woman with the issue of blood, also marveled him. And there was another woman that was praying to him, and he even called her a dog, but her response marveled God. Peter marveled the Lord when he had answered him a question. So there were times when Jesus was totally amazed at the faith of the people he came across. Yes, sir. When Jesus heard these things, he marveled at him and turned him about and said unto the people that followed him, here's the uppercase letters I was telling you about. I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. These were the words that he shared with those that were following him pertaining to the centurion man. Okay, 10. And they that were sent, returning to the house, found the servant whole that had been sick. So the Lord spoke the words as the centurion said, and the man was instantly healed. What a wonderful thing. Okay, let's read it from here. Let's read it from here. Verse 2 to verse 10. There a centurion servant, whom his master valued highly, was sick and about to die. 3. The centurion heard of Jesus and sent some elders of the Jews to him, asking him to come and heal his servant. 4. When they came to Jesus, they pleaded earnestly with him, "This man deserves to have you do this." 5. Because he loves our nation and has built our synagogue. 6. So Jesus went with them. He was not far from the house when the centurion sent friends to say to him, "Lord, don't trouble yourself, for I do not deserve to have you come under my roof." 7. That is why I did not even consider myself worthy to come to you, but say the word, and my servant will be healed. 8. For I myself am a man under authority with soldiers under me. I tell this one, "Go," and he goes, and that one, "Come," and he comes. I say to my servant, "Do this," and he does it. 9. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed at him, and turning to the crowd following him, he said, "I tell you, I have not found such great faith even in Israel." 10. Then the men who had been sent returned to the house and found the servant well. That is the Lord. We're walking with the Lord and watching what he does. Okay? 11. And 12 is his silver for history. Another miracle. And it came to pass the day after that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. Jesus always, unlike a celebrity of today, they may follow them, chase them around, paparazzi, but they're only getting a glimpse of the individual and nothing else. Whether it was the late Michael Jackson or whoever is alive today that fans follow as if they were Jesus Christ themselves, you get nothing from following these individuals. All you get is maybe a picture shot of them, a signature, and that's it. They're not the kind of people that you can bring your sick family members to. Your psychotic family members too. Your blind family members too. Nothing. If you're following these individuals, show business. In a wheelchair you will remain when the concert is over. But with Christ, it was a different type of crowd that followed him. These crowds always brought along their sick loved ones. And sometimes, in this case coming up, sometimes the Lord will be walking by an individual and change their situation. And this is what we're about to read now. So when you follow Christ, you are following the doctor. You are following the lawyer. You were following the word on legs. You had a reason to follow this man. There is no reason at all to follow any star. I don't care if they have their name in that star in Hollywood. None of them can do nothing for you. None. So what's the point of following them? Why? When they can give you nothing. Their bank accounts are full. Do they ever give out checks? $100 bills to those that are following them. Half of the people following them are poor as such. They don't even give you $100 bill for your troubles. And it came to pass the day after he dealt with the centurion, that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. 12. Now when he came nigh to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and much people of the city was with her. So she had a lot of people who were following the funeral procession. Okay, so let's read 11 and 12 from here. Jesus raises a widow's son. Soon afterwards, Jesus went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd went along with him. Jesus didn't get no breaks at all. None. Okay. As he approaches the town's gate, a dead person was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a large crowd from the town was with her. Okay, 13, here comes the love. It's a green verse. And when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her and said unto her, weep not. 13. When the Lord saw her, his heart went out to her, and he said, don't cry. 14 and 15 is orange for your faith. And he came and touched the bier, and they that buried him stood still. And he said, young man, this is uppercase lettering, young man, I say unto thee, arise. 15, and he that was dead sat up and began to speak, and he delivered him to his mother. All right, let's read 14 and 15. Then he went up and touched the coffin, and those carrying it stood still. He said, young man, I say unto you, get up! Exclamation mark. 15. The dead man sat up and began to talk, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. Back to back miracles. Okay. 16 is red for discipleship, and there came a fear on all, and they glorified God, saying that a great prophet is written up among us, and that God has visited his people. Amen. Amen. They were all filled with awe and praised God. A great prophet has appeared among us, they said. God has come to help his people. Okay, 17 to 20 is painful witnessing. And this rumor of him went forth throughout all Judea and throughout all the regions round about. Of course, his fame grows with the days. Okay, and the crowd never ceased to follow him. Never. My Lord had to actually go into the mountains and be by himself to rejuvenate himself, to get away from the people. And when he did disappear, not even his disciples knew his whereabouts. He got what he needed when he needed it. Okay? Because as he said, the harvest was great. The harvest was truly great, and it's greater now. Okay, and this rumor of him went forth throughout all Judea and throughout all the region round about. 18, and the disciples of John showed him of all these things. 19, and John calling unto him 2 of his disciples sent them to Jesus, saying, art thou he that shall come, or look we for another? That was an insult. Ouch. Oops. That was a clear-cut insult that his cousin sent him. Okay, 1 minute you're pointing the man out to the crowd. You're telling them who he is. then you are baptizing him yourself, insisting that he should be baptizing you. Okay, this is the same man, your cousin. Now that your situation has changed, you're in jail. Now you're wondering if your cousin is who he's supposed to be. Your situation, our situation may change. It does not change who God is or who Jesus Christ is, period. So that was an insult. And unfortunately for John the Baptist, he had no one among his disciples that had a shred of common sense. Because if you did, you would have said, Master, send not such words, for it may curse us. For you know who he is. Just tell the Lord that you have need of him. Period. But instead, the insult was delivered. It's a bad thing when you don't have anybody around you, when you're in a situation that can make sense out of your situation. They can tell you to hold your tongue when you need to. Okay, and John calling unto him 2 of his disciples sent them to Jesus, saying, Art thou he that shall come, or look we for another? 20. When the men came unto Jesus, they said, John Baptist has sent us unto thee, saying, Art thou he that shall come, or look we for another? All right, let's take it from 17 to 20. This news about Jesus spread throughout Judea and the surrounding country, Jesus and John the Baptist. 18. John's disciple told him about all these things, calling 2 of them. 19. He sent them to the Lord to ask, Are you the one who were to come, or shall we expect someone else? 20. When the men came to Jesus, they said, John the Baptist sent us to you to ask, Are you the one who was to come, or shall we expect someone else? All right, let's see our Lord's response to his cousin. 21 is orange for your faith. And in that same hour, he cursed many of their infirmities and plagues and of evil spirits, and unto many that were blind he gave sight. So he continued to be the doctor. Okay, he continued to heal the people around him after receiving this message from his cousin. Right, 22. 21, let's read 21 from here. At that very same time, Jesus cured many who had diseases, sickness, and evil spirits, and gave sight to many who were blind. 22 is pink for witnessing, up to 26, and most of it is uppercase lettering. Then Jesus answering said unto them, Go your way and tell John what things ye have seen and heard, how that the blind see, the lame walk, the lepers were clean, the deaf heard, the dead are raised, to the poor the gospel is preached. That was his message to his cousin. So you figure out who I am, whether I'm the one or not. Tell them this. The blind can see, the lame can walk, the dead are risen. Tell him that. Okay? What things ye have seen and heard. How that the blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are clean, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, to the poor the gospel is preached. 23. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. 24. And when the messengers of John were departed, he began to speak unto the people concerning John, his cousin. Here comes uppercase letterings. What went ye out into the wilderness for to see? A reed shaken with the wind? 25. But that went ye out for to see a man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they which are gloriously apparelled and live delicately are in king's courts. Okay, 26. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet, yea, I say unto you, and much more than a prophet. Okay, so he spoke good of his cousin. All right, but he already knew that his cousin would be beheaded. All right, let's take it from 22 to 26, and then we will do the remaining tomorrow if I live and nothing happens. All right. 22. So he replied to the messengers, go back and report to John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have had leprosy are cured, the deaf heard, the dead are raised, and the good news is preached to the poor. 23. Blessed is the man who does not fall away in account of me. Amen. 24. After John's messengers left, Jesus began to speak to the crowd about John. What did you go out into the desert to see? A reed swung by the wind. 25. If not, what did you go out to see? A man dressed in fine clothes? No. Those who wear expensive clothes and indulge in luxury are in the palace. 26. But what did you go out to see? A prophet. Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. Okay, thank you for listening to the first part of Luke 7 with us. It is a long 50-verse chapter, and we will continue the rest tomorrow. Please join us tomorrow and continue this walk with the Lord with us. You will definitely get a lot out of it, and it will benefit you in more ways than one. And again, may the peace of God be upon you. May the protection of God surround you and all those you love. And may the will of God, whatever that might be, come from thee. Until the next time, please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for listening.